Yep.
All right. Good evening. This is the Rhinebeck Town Board meeting. This is the September 24th, 2012 Rhinebeck Town Board, and we'll start with pledge. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before announcements, the new hours of the transfer station will be on Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Those are just new hours.
In that connection, I think at the last meeting, we had asked Bruce to go back to the operators to see if we could get an extra day. I don't know if you have, Bruce, or where that stands.
Gina and I were just talking about that. We're going to go back and talk to them at the end of October. We want to let it settle in a little bit. Right now, it's not going terribly well.
Oh, are they saying that they're not getting enough tonnage?
No, that's not what they're saying. They're still in flux with what's going on.
All right, so after October?
Well, there's 90 days. Give it 90 days to break in and then go back.
But I would suggest that anyone in the public that has concerns or desire for different days or hours, let us know before the end of October.
Well, yeah, and you can also, they're very willing to take, Royal's very willing to take it in any complaints or suggestions, recommendations. So if people call Royal and ask Royal directly for additional time, that probably would help.
But do you have a number offhand, Bruce? For
No,
the public?
I think it's a Fishkill number or a Hopewell number 6,000. I don't know.
Also, on September 29th, the landfill will be open from 9 a.m. to 1. So the landfill is open the last Saturday of the month, is that? Mm-hmm. 9 to 1. We were just talking also about expanding those hours and availability for the public too, so that's something we can consider. So.
People have a lot of brush.
Especially this time of the year,
From the
right?
trees, storms.
The next regular town board meeting will be Tuesday, October 9th at 6:45, of course. Dutchess County Planning Department community block grant applications are available at the town clerk's office. They must be completed with the applications due by October 19th. Our town highway garage will be holding the Household Hazardous Waste Disposal Day to be on October 6th, Saturday, and a $5 registration fee is required. Please call 486-7340 to register. It's $5. It's a workshop to identify permitting and marketing historic properties. That's by, I think, Nancy Kelly. That'll will be held here at Town Hall on October 16th at 7 p.m. And it's sponsored by the Consortium of Rhinebeck History. That's the Town Board, Planning Board, and the ZBA are invited.
Also, Tom, can I just jump in on that for a second? Nancy suggested, and I agree, that it's a nice opportunity for real estate agents to learn about marketing historic properties.
Right.
As well as the limitations on working within the constricture of landmark designation and things like that. So I think that that's good too.
Right.
Thank you.
The Rhinebeck Water Department, that's the Village Water Department, will be doing a hydrant flushing in October. Questions will be forwarded to the Village Water Clerk, Pat Kuhn, at 876-7415. And as Elizabeth said, we should be concerned about this. Rhine Cliff is also in that service, so he will be affected by it, and other areas of Rhinebeck, including the gardens and so on. So.
It's
Water
on the-
flushing in October. We don't have a day, though, do we?
Yeah, it's on the village website. It's starting October 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and they give you directions on the village website for getting
Where?
the iron out of your water and all
Right.
that stuff.
And Tom, reread that number because you misspoke on that.
Did I? 876-7015. That's right.
Oh, I thought you said 74.
Maybe I did. I don't know.
That's correct.
That's Pat Kuhn, the Village Water Clerk. Any further announcements? We're going to have a couple of budget workshops. We have them scheduled. One is for this Thursday, 3 p.m. to 5:30. That's September 27th. October 1st at 4 p.m. That's a Monday. October 11th, 7 p.m. Thursday. And a tentative, which we could pretty much, I think, nail down, is October 18th, 4 p.m. Thursday after that. So, budget workshops for the town of Rhinebeck. Any further announcements from anybody?
Why'd you skip the basketball
Where's basketball?
above the workshop thing?
Oh, you know what? I try to put it in order of date. Okay, the Rhinebeck Recreation Department basketball program will to begin on Saturday, October 20th at the Buckley Middle School. Call Town Hall for details, 876-3409. That's the, what, is that adults or?
That's different ages, including adults. Willie Sanchez runs that program. And we have extended hours, that we're doing it longer this year.
You're playing, right?
No, I'm not playing. I've been banned from basketball for life.
All right. Any further announcements? No. Okay. So business before the board, we have a motion and a second to approve abstract 9B vouchers V924 through V986 in the amount of $111,454.20.
Motion.
Motion and a second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, Tom, on that, I can't tell, it jumps from page 3 to page 6. I had asked, I think when you Xerox, that some pages are missing. I had asked Shelley to withhold payment on certain escrows, and I can't tell if that's in this abstract relating to core group. So those we shouldn't pay because we're short on escrow, so I'll be talking to them.
I think it was written right on the voucher.
Pardon me?
It was written right on the voucher.
Right, but I don't know if it's on this abstract, if it's been taken off. You can't tell, there's pages missing.
Okay.
So,
Okay, well,
other than that, let's approve it.
approve it and amend it pending there's no core group
Right.
bills on here.
Payments.
So, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Item 2 is motion to approve budget transfers, which I have none of on here. Item 3 is a motion to...
Didn't she put in a budget transfer this afternoon for Vanguard? I don't know if, Gina, do you have the book there? There is, no, it's on the top one. There is this budget transfer. Yeah, why don't you pass it around? I have no problem with it. It's for the scuppers that were put in on the roof.
Yeah, that's here.
And the invoice matches the price quote.
So the budget transfer would be from, to pay for the scuppers, which is the
Yeah.
roof drainage, from item H31 Fund 47 Town Hall Improvements.
I saw that.
Okay, did you?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, all right. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Actually, motion and second? We had a motion and second on this.
Motion.
What are we transferring from?
From home improvements capital project line?
Yeah, we have a capital line for town hall improvements. I think that's what she's taking
this
the
is
money out
But
of.
we're paying it out of capital?
That's my understanding.
So it's not a transfer, it's just a voucher.
Okay, but don't we have to approve it?
Well, we're supposed to ask for the money before we pay it, spend any of it, allocate it. Yeah, okay, fine.
So I make a motion to approve that
That's number
payment.
3 on here.
We don't have any budget transfers.
Oh,
on
okay,
our-
this is the abstract, I'm sorry.
Actually, you're right. So item 3, there's no budget transfers. Item 3 is motion to approve this capital project for the scuppers, as I mentioned, 9/24/2012, in the amount of $2,772 from project line H2743. This is from the town hall and, sorry, wrong. H31 Fund 47, Town Hall improvements. Motion and second.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye. Resoundingly.
Joan, do you have that, the numbers down? Page 47, all right. Can we make sure Shelley gets that tomorrow? That's all. Okay, thank you. Item 4 is a motion to approve the proposal local law number 4, 2012, establishing Dutchess, Ulster, Columbia County for town clerk residency requirement and set a public hearing.
On that one, let's table that, and the next one, we haven't heard from Pam yet on these.
Okay. So motion and second to table items 4 and 5.
For the next meeting.
Okay.
Motion.
Second?
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Item 6 is a motion to, or consideration for the town hall usage request for Santa Claus on Saturday, December 1st, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., set up on Friday, November 30th, 5 to 8 p.m. Motion and second.
Second.
All in favor, aye? So moved.
On this one, Tom, I think Joan Barb had spoken to them about cleaning up afterwards, the bathrooms, and, because that may run into farmer's market. So we really should caution them.
Okay. Item 7 is a motion for consideration of the town hall use request for the Mid-Hudson Valley Vegetarian Society for Saturday, October 20th, from 4 to 8.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, that's so moved. Item 8 is a motion for the fall-winter basketball program. Staff for fall-winter basketball, yeah, you got it.
Motion.
Second?
Okay, this is Willie Sanchez it's $100 a session, which is the same as, or $100 a week as, was the same as last year. And Max Berger and Rachel Tigas. And they're at minimum wage, $7.25, same as last year. The one swizzle on this is that there's extra weeks this year, so Willie would get additional money, but we have more people signed up than we've ever had before already, so it's kind of a wash.
Is enrollment still open for that?
Yeah,
What do you mean Willie would get more money?
there's more weeks.
Where does the money go? To the program? Is it a money-making venture or?
He gets $100 a week,
Okay,
and if we have 12 weeks instead of 10, he gets $200 more.
okay.
That's what I meant.
Okay. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, that's so moved. Item 9 is the motion to approve the 2013 highway material bids.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion, questions?
I sent around a memo to the board with the list of recommended material bids to accept, and it also had attached the full list of all the bids that we'd received. So I don't know if you want me to go through that, or if you just have any questions.
I reviewed it. It was very thorough. Thank you.
Thanks.
It's a lot.
It looked like every year.
There are slight changes, such as last year, we did accept a bid on grass and seed, and this year, I'm recommending that we don't. Last year, at one point, our diesel and gas had been provided by Costco. Then we went to a split between Costco and Bottini. This year, it's going all to Bottini. That's just based on price. For example, one other change is we accepted a bid last year on a material for the cold patch, and I'm actually recommending not the lowest price, but the second lowest price, because the low price bidder was what we used last year, and we found the material to be substandard and harden up way too fast. So yes, it looks very similar year to year because the categories are the same, but if you look at it, there are differences each year.
Thank you. That's fine.
Great. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is so moved. 7 o'clock, we have a public hearing in relation to local law number 6, 2012, authorizing dog parks in Rhinebeck. A motion and second to open the public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
So the floor is open for public comment. We don't have any public comment, we'll, no, okay, I wasn't sure. I'm what?
Taking a pause.
Pause, yeah. I'm encouraging comment.
I don't feel that it's a good idea to start a program like this that would affect a small portion of Rhinebeck's population for a program that's at best is a nice-to-have sort of thing when budgets are being cut all the time, and it sounds like the county is going to be cutting even more of the funds you're going to get, and I just can't see outlaying funds for this.
Could you introduce yourself just for the audience, please?
My name is Paula Trimble.
Thank you. Bruce, do you want to speak to the funding?
Any further comments on that, public?
Yeah, well, if there's not any other comments. We had roughed out what it would cost, and we figured that we would charge approximately $25 a year for a registration to use this, and they get a little ID tag for the dog, so people knew it was a registered dog, and we'd have more with dog licenses and everything else. And figuring $5,000 and the number of people that we projected using it from Red Hook and Rhinebeck, we figured there was a 2.5-year payback on the initial investment of about $5,000. And so you're right. I mean, we're outlaying money now when things are tight, and but we did have a way to get it back. That was the plan. Then it'd be a revenue stream going on after that. There's no additional insurance costs, volunteers. The premise of this is that the volunteers will take care of it, and it's just something that makes it a little nicer to live in the community. That's one of the reasons. So.
Was it $5,000 for our portion or to be split between the two
Well,
communities?
because it's on our property, we have to come up with the initial money, and then if there's any enhancements after that, like equipment or whatever, that's when Red Hook could kick in. There's also that Benefil thing. There's other grants that are available.
Is someone
But-
working on the Benefil?
Not yet, because we don't
We have nothing to work, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 2 different groups that are working on this, but this is where we are right now, so.
What is the 5,000 for, fencing,
Yeah.
or?
Yeah, and it's, it's just materials. We've gotten some gates donated. There's something else. Permits would be, I talked to Doyle, I think it is, in Red Hook, because it's in their property. Michael had given me the heads up on that. He thinks we'd have to get a building permit for the fence. He doesn't think there's anything else that we'd have to do, but he's going to check on it. He hasn't confirmed yet what we would have to do. So
And the labor would be volunteers?
Yeah. That's the whole premise of the thing.
It's like based on the community garden, sort of,
Yeah, that was the model.
which was pretty
And
successful.
You believe you have enough volunteers to make it work?
Yeah, but, the other side of it is, we could make it so difficult that people wouldn't want to get involved in it. That's happened with us before in different things. So, and right now, I think we have more than enough.
Any further public comments? This is a collaborative effort with Red Hook, right?
Well, I went to Red Hook and asked them if they were interested in participating with us, and just to get the numbers up was the fundamental, the original idea, and it was the location. It makes sense up there. So they're for it. Paul Piestro, I guess he was a captain in the sheriff's.
Yeah.
He retired. He's kind of driving it from the Red Hook side.
Had a lot of petitions turned in support of it.
Yeah.
How big is the fenced area, Bruce?
It's going to be about a half acre. It's in between the lower softball field and the soccer field.
Yeah, yeah. And how high is the fence? 4 feet?
I think it's got to be 5.
Has to be 5 feet?
From what we've been reading, and it has to be buried in the ground so that little dogs can't tunnel under it.
The money would be part of our budget for 2013.
Yeah, it would be part of the capital fund.
Any further comments from the public? Okay, so motion and second to close the public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
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 So
Bruce, how many people do you think will use this park? What's your estimate?
Between 100 and 200. And that's kind of based on the research that we've done with other towns, the number of people that use it, and our population. So it's, it's a guess at this point, an educated guess, but it's a guess.
Great. So for action items, we have consideration for local law number 6/2012, authorizing the dog parks in Rhinebeck. Do we have a motion and second for local law number 6?
Motion.
Second.
By a roll call, Councilperson Fox,
Aye.
Councilperson Gelb,
Aye.
Councilperson Spenzia,
Aye.
Councilman Washburn.
Aye.
And Supervisor votes aye. So moved.
Bruce, who's going to be in charge of checking the licensing of the dogs that go over?
They're going to have to, well, we don't have a formal procedure yet. We had one, but we don't have one now. The idea was they would come here, they would pay their $25 fee. There's a form that they would fill out with all of the documentation from the veterinarian, and they would have to give a copy of the dog license or pay for the dog license at the time. And there's also a waiver that they would have to sign that we're held harmless no matter what happens. And again, we lifted all that from other towns, and Pam's reviewed it and so on. Joe's made a couple changes, but we're pretty much, that part of it's pretty much figured out. It's just getting people to agree to it.
And the police would periodically check up there to make sure that all the dogs have been tagged.
Police?
Well, there's
How are we else going to force the,
there's only
Payment.
certain, the state has come down and said there are certain people, certain officers who can check dogs. And it's in the law someplace, the final list. I don't know, I forget where it is, but, and because we had a broader list of people, and the attorney cut it down. I think it's page, well, it'd be 7 of 9 of this. Any enforcement officer may issue a written notice of violation against the handler of the dog and that kind of thing. And earlier, it would have who can do it.
So our animal control officer will?
Yeah,
possibly?
animal control officer, a police officer, and there was somebody else that could do it. But it wasn't any volunteers or, you know, we can't go as town board members and say, aha, you haven't got your tag, you must leave.
All right. Any further on
The
that?
definition of enforcement officer. Look at the
Police
definition, page
officer,
2.
it's on page 2 of 9, enforcement officer, a police officer or animal control officer authorized to administer the laws of the town of Rhinebeck. So that's all it's limited to.
I assume if it doesn't work out, we could use the fence someplace else.
Okay. The next two items for action represent for relation to the tentative budget. I'd like to speak with the bookkeeper about some specifics on that. So I would like to request a special meeting to commence before our budget workshop on Thursday at 3 o'clock, the 27th, to present the bookkeeper, the clerk with the tentative budget, and in turn, then present the town board with that. So, a motion and second for a special meeting for that purpose.
Motion.
A second.
I'm sorry, what time on the 27th?
I have 3 o'clock.
I have 3 o'clock too.
Right.
Could you read those dates one more time for us, Tom?
Well, let me
please?
get this through first.
Yes.
But what, I'm
Let's
lost as
just-
to what is this special thing that we're doing at
I need
3
a
o'clock?
special meeting to give the document to the town clerk, and then town clerk would present it to the town board.
Oh,
It's
this
just
is
the
the
process for the timeline.
tentative budget.
Right. We have to the 30th to do that, so. So motion and second, all in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, it's so moved.
Could you read us the dates
The
again?
dates I have for this Thursday, 3 to 5:30,
Sorry, and that's the...
27th,
Okay.
October 1st, 4 PM, that's a Monday.
I'm sorry, October 1st, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Thursday, October 11th, 7 PM.
Yeah.
I have Thursday, October 18th, 4 PM.
The 11th is 7,
Yeah,
and what's after that?
the 18th.
At 4.
4.
And I think we have the 18th listed as tentative, but we have it at least advertised,
I'm
right?
sorry,
Joe?
when it-
Okay.
The 18th is tentative?
It's
I-
confirmed.
I see
Yeah.
it's right under the discussion. It's all spelled out there, so.
Should we set some dates for November before people get all booked up?
Well, how much, we could still stay in October.
Pass it by like November 2nd or something?
No, it has to be,
On November 15th?
yeah, fire, we
Yeah,
have to
we-
have a preliminary budget hearing by November 8th.
We set something for the week of the 29th?
Twenty-ninth is a town board meeting. You want to do,
I don't have,
I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, no, that's
Board
right, that's the
meeting
extra
the
day. No, that's
29th.
that's the fifth Monday. We could do the 29th,
Monday, the 29th.
right?
What time?
Anytime's good with me.
I'm open.
4?
Fine.
Bruce,
4 o'clock?
anything good? Want to do it earlier?
Okay for you, Bruce?
You guys want to do it earlier?
I could do earlier.
3?
3's great.
It's okay for me.
Start at 3? 3 o'clock on Monday, the 29th of October.
When is Halloween?
The 31st,
Oh.
Wednesday.
And you want to set something for November? Something in the week of November 5th? Okay, you know, we can always cancel.
Yeah, let's do the 5th.
Want to do the 5th Monday?
Yeah.
What time?
You want to do it early again? 3 o'clock?
Fine with me.
Problems. So, motion and second to approve
that November
October 29th, 3
November
PM, and November 5th, 3 PM for budget workshops. Second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
So moved. Items for discussion, schedule budget workshops, as we just did. So zoning committee update. Was there, who requested this? Anybody? Oh, ours, right? Well, you want to, we have a zoning group, of course, so
Yeah,
we
have
worked
we-
on, we didn't have a meeting because we were working on that other issue that may be litigation issue. So there will be a meeting on Tuesday on that also. So we have to schedule our,
I'm sorry, a meeting for our zoning group?
no, this is for the attorney, the CEO, and the planning board chair working on the one issue, the Wincliffe issue.
Okay.
So we're not part of that. We're part of our own discussion for the zoning considerations for updating on the comp plan and zoning program, so.
Yeah, I think one of the first items on our discussion was core group, and I've been corresponding with the owner, and
Right.
we need to get a meeting together to look
Right.
at that.
So tomorrow, maybe we can put some time together. Whatever you guys need, I can fill in for us, so, okay, all right. So that'll follow up. We have also John McGuire, property.
I'm sorry, how did we leave that? We're going to get some,
Well, they'll meet tomorrow. If they can put dates together, you can get it to us
great.
and get it back, you know,
Okay.
whatever's good with you guys.
We said mornings, or,
Mornings are
Fine.
best, right?
okay. Thank you.
So other item for discussion, the John McGuire property. So I had, you can call out John, like the core group, there's a number of properties that have been issues. And I had asked John to come up to the town board to approach them because the core group has been also approaching the town board. And he has sort of a similar issue, but very different. So I thought it would be appropriate that the board would see what John has had.
Route 9 would be out here. I'm John McGuire, Aqueduct Road in Rhinebeck here. Lived there for 42 years, so it's been a long time. And Rhinebeck, Route 9 is out here. Aqueduct Road comes in past McGuire Lane, which sweeps around a large circle there. I'm trying to get this a little better here so you can see what we have. Route 9 again is out here, Aqueduct Road coming from the west, proceeding over to Berger Road. This is my 6-acre parcel here outlined in the orange.
It's on Ackerhook and McGuire.
Correct, this is McGuire Lane right here.
Where's King?
Excuse me?
King is,
King Road is right, right here,
okay.
right here. My house is here. So, back in 1984, I have the map, the complete map. We did these lots here, 16 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, completely surrounding this area. They are all zoned R1A. We didn't develop the 6 acres at the time because, number one, I didn't know if our children would be moving back to Rhinebeck and would need lots. And number two is the neighborhood kids used it for everything, camping and building tree houses and soccer and football and basketball before the trees grew up very, very high. So a few years ago, I figured, well, I'm getting a little bit older and I might add to my retirement by subdividing. And some of the people who live in the area knew it was zoned R1A. This lady here, her sister wants to buy a lot. The lady down here, her mother lives right here. She wants to buy a lot, so she's close to her mother and so forth. But that's beside the point. So what had happened is we went ahead and submitted all the plans to the to the town board, to the planning board and so forth, and it was advanced to the town engineer. So the town engineer had it for about 3 months, and we didn't hear anything. And in the meantime, the new law kicked in. Now, when they started discussing the comprehensive plan, numerous committee members said, my property would not be affected due to the fact that this is the same plane as all of these lots here. There are more lots over here, too. The same plane, same water supply, unlimited water. I've lived there 42 years. Not one neighbor has had a problem with water that I know of. The septic systems are all minimum size septics. I have the statistics there from 1984. The only one that needed a fill section were these two, and that's on the left where the land rises up towards McMichael's house. So, based upon sort of based upon the fact that we would not be changed, there wasn't any real rush to do it. But then later on, as things developed, we could see that the 6-acre zoning was going to pertain to this parcel here, which puts it totally out of character with the neighborhood, number one. Number two is it takes away tax base for the town. And number three, it takes away a chance for some, I'm not going to say affordable housing, but lower cost housing because of the size of the lots being smaller versus having 6 acres, 10 acres, whatever else one could have. So, so I've been interested in talking to you and the planning board and so forth about perhaps going back to the old R1A designation that it's been ever since I've owned it. Now, one of the stipulations in the comprehensive plan was, the reason they made it 6 acres was that we'd have to run a water line from over by the old Grange Hall on Claus Drive, which, number one, that water line is not needed.
Are you on Village Water?
I'm sorry?
Over here,
Oh,
Jeff.
here. Are
Oh,
you,
I'm sorry.
are you on Village Water?
No, it's all wells.
So you wouldn't have to run a water line?
No, but that's the reason they used to change it to 6 acres. It's right in the law. So,
And
we
you're,
have had health department tests done, and it's the same soil as all these other lots all around it. Same as my house is right there, it's the same soil.
you're proposing 4 lots to be created from the 6-acre
Yes.
lot? So it's 1 and change for each?
Right, yeah.
So,
Yeah, but it would only be 3, but one
Three new
of them's
lots.
occupied already. One of those 4 lots is already.
One is my
yours,
house,
right.
so, yeah, we're just.
3 additional.
Yes, right, yeah.
John has called me about this, and I'm just baffled by it. He was like at the end of approvals and so on, up until the approval of the comp plan, and it's really dropped on our lap because of the comprehensive plan was approved. So now it becomes a town board issue, and I would like to see it part of the whole review of the issues that we're going to be approaching. So, I mean, really, you were just at the end of it. Whatever, I don't know what to do with it. So I wanted the board to see it just like they're seeing the core group, because I think really these are 2 issues that sort of surface as problems of the new laws, so.
I mean, I know the neighborhood, there's a consistency there. The lots would be very consistent with everything else. And you say that it's been Board of Health approved, or you have perk tests? and-
We've done all the perk tests,
You're
but it
ready
isn't
to-
approved yet because the town engineer
Right,
hasn't gotten
okay.
back.
And you've surveyed it, and you just need approval, too?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've had highway department approval too. Our wonderful highway superintendent was out, and you were over too with the CI? Conservation? Oh, the planning board, okay.
The- yeah.
And they were out and walked the property.
So
and
this
we
is
had-
one of the glitches in the comp plan that,
I don't know if it's a glitch. Remember, it went to 6 acres, or 5, I think it's 5 acres, not 6 acres, but there was a reason that the board then supported the zoning.
Well, I say glitch in the same, we've formed this zoning committee to look at inconsistencies within the comp plan, such as the core group request for rezoning, such as the permitting request for fences in Rhinecliff and the historic overlay, such as something like this that was in the works. So maybe glitch isn't the right word, but I think we've all accepted that there's things within the comp plan that need to be addressed as we proceed. Is that
Right.
a fair way of
That's
stating it?
Fair to me.
Well, that
My
may,
recollection was
I don't
during
have
the-
any view yet.
During if this was work in progress, which I thought it was grandfathered. There was the list of properties, as long as it wasn't inconsistent with what was going on, it was grandfathered. That's what I thought. That's how I remember it, no?
No, it had to be approved to,
But I thought that was, the application was in and everything, we took,
Conditional approval, not final approval, which the planning board was prepared to do.
Yeah, it didn't have final, correct, right, and I didn't say,
but that,
did I say that?
Conditional?
no, you didn't say it.
he's-
No, apparently it's not grandfather, that's why they're here.
yeah, but that's what I'm trying to understand.
Your understanding, I think, was what many people thought, that if you were in the pipeline at a certain point, you would be grandfathered. But the way the law was written, when they determined how to grandfather, you'd have to have at least conditional approval. And I think what happened here is the planning board was prepared to give that to John, and then I think it was a miscommunication between John, his engineer, and our engineer, and so things got held up. And I don't honestly know why. But the planning board was prepared to approve this project, so then you go to conditional approval. It had been through the county health department and all that sort of thing.
Okay.
The site visit and whatnot. But I think when they actually then wrote the final zoning law and put in the section about grandfathering, they decided it should have at least conditional approval to be grandfathered. And that's where this, I think, kind of fell through the cracks.
Okay.
Are there a lot of cases like this, Michael?
Anything else that I can,
I think it just, we should review it as part of the group and.
Can we do it at our first session? Can we do this in core group? And then you and I will come back to the board with a recommendation, Tom? Or
Yeah,
it'll be on our
right.
agenda?
Absolutely.
shall I leave more maps?
We have the file, I think, Joan, right, for the.
I think we're fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I do have a question. Those lots around here, these have been sold already, these 1 acre lots?
Oh, yeah, these are 1984.
And there's houses already
There
there?
are, so, yeah, all the way around here, and King Road joins over here, so there are 1 acre lots right here as well. Total of 16.
Do you have any idea what these people feel about your application?
Well, as I mentioned, this, let's see, 1, 2, 3. This lady here, her sister wants to buy one of the lots. And this lady over here, let's see, King Road's here. Her daughter wants to buy this lot. so
Right,
she's
but
close to
beside
her
the
mother.
people who
That's-
want to buy, what about the other people who would be affected by it?
I haven't bothered them.
Okay, so we don't really
Yeah, I
know what your neighbors really think.
You
Okay.
don't know of anyone that's against it?
No, no one's mentioned anything. We have a wonderful neighborhood there. Everybody seems to, these will be slightly larger than all of these, too.
So let's just follow up with this after the group reviews it.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Do we have a core group on here? Core group?
No, I said it should be taken off. I think we've discussed it already. The core group will be dealing with it at our first zoning committee.
So
review
core
committee.
group will follow up as well with our zoning review group.
And
Right,
hopefully
I'll
we'll-
try to reach them tomorrow, but as to the escrow, but generally we don't consider anything unless we have the escrow up to date.
Right.
And
Okay.
again, we said that we'll set something this week for you guys will meet tomorrow and send us out some dates. Great.
Okay. Next item is the Winter Farmers Market.
I've been talking to the Winters Farmers Market. They are concerned with the condition of the town hall on some Sundays when they come in. And they've suggested that a couple of board members meet with them on October 15. I can't do it, but, maybe Bruce, because you're maintenance, and maybe Elizabeth or Gina can meet with them on the 15th at their board meeting, where they will.
I can't on the 15th.
Bruce, can you do it?
What time,
I think 7 o'clock.
I guess?
Elizabeth?
I'm checking.
And I'll confirm the time and place.
So what are they talking about? The place isn't plowed or something?
No, I think the condition of the bathrooms and the room itself, yes, some uses on Saturday affects them when they come in on Sunday. The condition of the bathrooms and the,
So would the
Good.
purpose of the, I'm sorry, this is October 15th?
yes.
Yeah, it's a Monday.
Is that the holiday weekend? No. That should be fine.
Did we set a fee for them this year?
We didn't formally. I told them that I personally, and this was before the cleaning issue took root, that would not push for an increase for this year. But again, that was all before this issue. So I think everything is open.
Right, so
But I
it's,
think it's 125, the same amount we charged last year. That was my thinking.
you think the meeting is at 7 o'clock here?
I believe it's at 7 o'clock. I don't know where it is, and let
Okay.
me get back to you two on that.
Okay. And the purpose of us going is to discuss the cleaning issue for the winter's farmer's market?
That's my understanding is the only issue. And I think, Bruce, you had something about speakers?
Yeah,
You had
we have
meant-
to secure the equipment, because this is, yeah.
Would have to be written in,
yeah,
something
we're gonna
written
have to do
into the
something
contract.
better. And then we'll discuss the parking complaints with them.
Yeah, I have a draft contract that they've seen. I haven't circulated it to the board. I can circulate it to the board. It does deal with the parking, both on the street and in our lot. And I don't think that's an issue, but you will see.
Joe, I had mentioned about Rhinebeck farmers being a part of the farmers market, not just to you, but over the past couple of years, that they seem to not be involved in this, but I have had some requests from Rhinebeck farmers to be able to get into it, and the answer I get on the outside is that, well, it's hard to get in because it takes a while for somebody to leave, but to me, it seems kind of a sour irony that a Rhinebeck farmer can't get into the farmer's market in Rhinebeck.
I raised that issue, Tom, and at least what I've been told is that the particular farmer, I think, had a place there and gave it up within, the first couple of years. And now they're committed to various people. Again, Bruce and Elizabeth can raise that, but that's the response that I got, that it's too late, that it was offered originally to this person, and they dropped out, and other people took that spot.
Well, let's maybe discuss it offline, and that's something, because I agree, it's sadly ironic that,
I do know that they make an effort not to duplicate and and encroach on an area of sales for individual booths. But I've been to enough farmers markets over the summer that many that I've gone to have the exact same things at different booths. So I think there's room for expansion.
Yeah, we've added things every year. It seems like one thing it's falafels, and then it's soup tastings, and then it's wine tastings. So I don't know what what it would do to add a local farmer to the Rhinebeck Farmers Market. I mean, that's just a thought of mine. Maybe it should be part of the agreement that there's a spot open for any Rhinebeck farmer or something, just a thought. I thought that was sort of the underlying concept of a farmer's market, to bring them into town, so just a thought. So we'll follow up with that?
Yes.
Okay. Any further on the farmer's market? All right, so we have Joel here who wants to talk about the county executive proposal.
Thanks for having me.
Our county legislature,
Thank you
Joel
for having me
Tyner.
on
Let
the
me do that
agenda.
appropriately.
You're probably aware that I'm not sure that there's anybody on any town board or village board or city council in the county who's thrilled about what the county executive's proposed. It's about $29 million, in sales tax revenue sharing cut. He proposes to cut that by about $4.5 million. I can understand if you may think it's a done deal, a fait accompli, there's nothing we can do about it, but there have been other proposals from previous county executives to have, the towns and municipalities pay for sheriff's patrols. I will say this, at least the county executive's trying to be a little bit more understanding about the chargebacks of the Board of Elections. So I would just say, don't give up hope. I'm actually doing a press event tomorrow at 5:30 in front of the county office building. But it's not just me, myself, 1 out of 25. I'm guessing and betting that the other 24 county legislators are hearing quite a bit. I know that the town of Clinton has been buzzing, and everybody that I talked to has been buzzing about this for weeks.
So will you go and represent us and try and get our money back?
Definitely. And if anybody is free tomorrow at 5:30 in front of 22 Market Street, I'll say something else. 9 years ago, the Food and Drug Administration sent a letter to Springfield, Massachusetts, saying they're not going to challenge them on the Canadian prescription drug option. Schenectady County's been doing this for 7 years. Schenectady County has a smaller number of county employees and retirees than we do in Dutchess County. They're saving $1 million a year with an option, not by forcing or mandating their county employees and retirees. And so there's other things that we could be doing other than punishing the municipalities.
Just to stay with that, what can we do constructively in terms of opposing this? Is a letter to the county executive, a letter to the legislative leaders? I think, Tom, there's an association of supervisors. I don't know if they're taking a position on this.
It's difficult. It's understandable. He talks to us. The legislatures are the ones who vote on it. They're the ones, this is a proposal by the county executive. The legislatures have to vote on it. So really, they're the ones who will ultimately approve or not. But I don't know if you're going to get into the details of the numbers in the county and why it's being proposed, but
Our share comes to it's about 15% for us, which we'd lose about, is it 42,000?
Yeah.
if looking at it flatly, it would be like $43,000.
It's significant, that's big for us.
They're trying to,
They're short of money. We're short of money, too.
Right.
They're not the only one who's facing
I
budget
understand,
problems.
but we pay a high amount of county taxes, Our land taxes that support our local government in comparison are pretty low, and, we're trying to make every dollar count, and we are getting chargebacks on things.
The late, great John Wagner, the former town supervisor of LaGrange, who just passed away a few months ago, he was the president of the Dutchess County Association of Supervisors and Mayors, and he was not shy about sending letters on behalf of the towns, cities, and villages in the county, regarding previous county executive proposals to pass the costs along. So
I wish the county would cut their budget or be as responsible with their budget as we're trying to be with ours.
Well, they are. They're cutting a number of programs. They're going to have, from what I understand, a couple hundred layoffs over the next few years. They have a multi-year approach to downsize and resize, includes mental hygiene and public works and so on. This is the first year that it's really being dealt with by the county. They have a $40 million tax gap.
Yeah, that's
between-
what Summer, the budget director says, is a $40 million. I mean, I have other ideas for progressive alternative revenue solutions. You know, there's frankly dozens of cities, towns, and villages and counties all across the country. There's 2 in New York State that have local income taxes. I would suggest not a local income tax in Dutchess County on everybody, but there are 518 families in Dutchess County who make $500,000 or more. They are literally paying $25 million less in federal income taxes every year than they paid during the 90s. And if you take a look at what's happened over the last decade in Dutchess County, we've given $220 million to the richest 0.5% of people in Dutchess County. The reason why I'm speaking about this openly is I've been looking at this stuff for 20 years. This is my 9th year in the county legislature. It's like what Einstein said, what's the definition of an insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again. It's just going to be more and more and more cuts. You know, there's no more Human Rights Commission. There's no more Office of Consumer Affairs. There's programs for kids that kept them out of trouble, kept them from getting mixed up in the criminal justice system. The Project Return program, the Youth Bureau, gone. There's no money for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Homeless people now have to pay $10 a night to get shelter after 2 months, and they're thrown out of the shelter after 4 months. I mean, it's bad. So, but I would suggest each of you calling or emailing the county executive's office, and I don't think it would hurt to, I mean, to the county executive's credit, a week or 2 ago, he took the Democratic caucus aside, showed us a PowerPoint at the Bodewin Park. You know, he didn't have to do that. That's nothing that Bill Steinhaus ever did, okay? So he's a nice guy. But the county executive also told us, you know, nobody had a problem at the Dutchess County Association of Supervisors and Mayors. Nobody had a problem with this plan and of course, every single elected official that I know in Dutchess County is livid and steamed and incredibly
Yeah, the PR
frustrated.
that went on it put a really positive spin. It seemed like every, every supervisor quoted was, we understand.
But even the Poughkeepsie Journal quoted City of Poughkeepsie Mayor John Tyzik and Fishkill Town Supervisor Robert Lacola. I don't think, believe it or not, I'm can be controversial sometimes, a lightning rod. I'm not trying to start a war, but I really think if you just roll over and play dead this year, God only knows what's going to happen in the next year, 2 or 3. Martin Luther King said, a man can't ride your back unless it's bent. I would suggest that the 5 of you have a nice straight back for this first round of this county executive's proposal, because if he gets away with this,
It's going to be more next year.
yeah.
Joel, is your view that if this proposal goes through, that taxes will go up someplace? Either here or in Clinton or?
It is, yeah, obviously, or there's going to be budget cuts. You guys look, I'm not an expert on town of Clinton government. I'm not an expert on town of Rhinebeck government.
We saw what happened in town of Clinton last year.
The impression that I get, everything's been cut back to the bone. I know.
Well, they're
Way back to the bone in the town of Clinton, and I believe that you guys are running a pretty lean operation here, so.
So are you, if the county cuts to the bone like the towns have done, will the taxes still be going up because of this?
I'm guessing and betting, unless you guys cut the budget, which I'm not advocating, that the town property taxes are going to rise. It's ridiculous. That's why, usually I don't speak so openly about a county level income tax on the wealthy, but I've just had it. I've been going to county legislature meetings for 15 years, since 1997. And until we do something like that, I swear to all of you, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Because you can't, there's no money left. I can see it already in the tea leaves. Next March or April, the county budget director, there's a $37 million budget gap. And it's just going to be the same thing over again. But
Is there a partisan split on this, or is everybody sort of just trying to think it through together?
I've seen there's been no open deliberation in the county legislature on this. But I have seen Republicans and Democrats in the county legislature over the last 3 or 4 years fight back against the county executive's proposals to have the towns pay for sheriff patrols.
That's a whole different.
Right, but it's sort of like the same thing, like passing the buck, passing along the costs. To me, it's the same thing. It's punishing the towns. So, and you have to know that every single county legislator is going to their own towns and trying to explain the same things. I don't think it'd be too hard to get a letter written by the Dutchess County Association of Supervisors, Mayors. I really strongly urge you to.
Well, I would think we should at least discuss it coming from, the town of Rhinebeck. If that's something.
But, I mean, there's got to be another plan. This is all about sustainability. That's the key thing for this whole thing. How are you going to survive? I mean, you got the $40 million tax gap, or the gap. I mean, how is it going to be fed? There's got to be plans for this. It can't just, if everybody gets up and says, no, you can't do this, you can't do this. Next year, it won't be $40 million. It'll be a lot worse. It's going to be, they went from a $29 million
Expenses reduced.
fund balance to like $7 million?
It's fun, right?
Isn't that right?
And look, I'm not the only legislator, but I mean, year after year after year, it's like reading the tea leaves, like how much money, it's like trying to grab at straws, trying to get a straight answer out of some people. I'll say something very nice about the county executive and the current assemblyman for Rhinebeck, Kevin Cahill. Mr. Molinaro and Mr. Cahill recognized when it came to school budgets, it's ridiculous year after year after year, people, seniors and taxpayers and teachers and senior citizens fighting, and just ridiculous. We should fund our schools through an income tax and end school property taxes completely. Now, why am I bringing that up? Because now, Mr. Molinaro is a good man. He's the county executive. He had the foresight and the vision and the guts to say, let's fund our education, our public education, and not rely on property taxes. That's why I'm open, because I'm telling you, there have been so many county budget cuts. We've lost 200 county staff over the last 4 years as it is right now. There's another 79 county employees who just voluntarily, took the buyout. And I'm sure there will probably be more budget cuts pushed through. Just real quick, I just got an email, and it's already on the Poughkeepsie Journal website. County executive is proposing to demolish the Nelson House. The Nelson House is right on Market Street in Poughkeepsie. It's in between the county office building and family court. FDR, when he was in Dutchess County, his staff stayed at the Nelson House literally 200 times. FDR gave speeches there many times. I'm not particularly thrilled about having the Nelson House demolished, and there's no commitment whatsoever to respect what's going on there. So I'm just letting you know that, and that is something the county legislature is going to be voting on. Real quick on a couple other things. Albany County, Broome County, Sullivan County have installment options for county property taxes. We're trying to, it's my proposal, it has co-sponsorship. We're trying to get that voted on and approved in the next month. If you saw in the Hudson Valley News or the papers about this guy, Mark Spiro in Hyde Park, lost his house during the foreclosure auction last year. There's another 100 or so properties about to be auctioned off October 17th. You might have seen front page article about the county jail. If you actually clicked on the PDF on the Poughkeepsie Journal article and read the report for the recommendations from the Criminal Justice Council, pointed out that over 80% of the inmates in the county jail have substance abuse issues or mental health issues. They're talking about $126 million. You want to know what your $40,000, $42,000 sales tax cut is paying for? $126 million, 500-bed new jail building. Not a jail expansion of the current building, new jail expansion. And I'll just, last but not least, there are 3 different maps that have been proposed for redistricting. It's an ongoing thing. I'm still looking for volunteers to go to publicmapping.org and come up with their own maps. But if you go in the hallway, the bulletin board, there are 3 different maps that have been proposed. And thank you for your patience and putting me on the agenda.
Joel, you stay for a minute. We just had a primary here. We probably had a handful of voters in this building. We had across the street, probably less than a handful. We had Rhinecliff. It's just a total waste of money that, and, the county is crying poverty and they're pushing it down on us, but why don't they do something?
Want me to talk to the Board of Elections? Keep
Yeah,
the Rhine Cliff one, but maybe
it's
do away
absolutely
with one of these?
ridiculous. We probably have more workers here than voters
At least on the primary or during the regular election too, you're saying?
in the primary. And in the regular election beats me why we need across the street and this building. It's not that crowded, polls. And whether we need Rhine Cliff, I don't know.
This has come up before, and if you
We've talked
five,
about it for 2 years.
if you five are in agreement on this, I have no problem. I mean, you can do an end run around me and talk to Eric Haight and Fran Knapp, but I have no problem standing up and fighting for you if the five of you or most of you are unanimous saying, Joel, it's ridiculous, with all due respect, that's the Methodist church across the street. Yeah, if you really want me to push hard on Ms. Knapp and Mr. Haight to just do this, and keep the Rhine Cliff one, right? We wouldn't do away with the Rhine Cliff one, would we?
Well, let's look at it.
I think it should be looked at. I've voted there for 20 years, and I've worked there as well. And
It's a lot of money.
we had
There's
7
6
people vote in the
inspectors and
last election.
You know, at the risk of seeming like every other non-courageous politician that's putting their finger up in the air, it makes it a lot easier for me. If most of you want me to do that, I will do that. I will push for that. But I don't, and this is not on the agenda to have a whole discussion
Put
about
it
it.
on our agenda for next week and discuss it. I mean,
Because
next
then I can
meeting.
say, well, it's the Rhinebeck Town Board. It's what the town board wants.
Well,
I know people in Rhine Cliff are going to get so
Fine, we
upset
can
at
put
me.
it on the next agenda, but we've talked about it for probably 2 years now.
Did you pass a
and,
resolution though, or?
How does that affect you approaching them? Does it matter that you approach them with or without our approval?
I'll be honest with you, I have a lot of support in Rhine Cliff. I used to live in Rhine Cliff.
No,
I'm not really itching, I'm just being honest with everybody. I'm not really itching to go to Fran Knapp and Eric Haight and say, you know what? Forget about the Methodist Church, forget about the Rhine Cliff Firehouse. It's just, this is what the people of Rhinebeck
Well,
want.
it's a dollars and cents thing. It's not excluding one neighborhood. It's trying to be responsible with the money that we're spending, and the elections are costing us a ton of money.
When I voted at Rhine Cliff, it was further for me to drive to Rhine Cliff to vote than it was if I drove to here to vote.
Well,
All
that's,
right,
Well, so we should put it on the agenda for the next meeting and actually take a vote as to
I
whether,
think we should discuss
Well,
it
wait, well,
publicly.
this is not just a Rhinebeck thing. I mean, we're all paying for everybody's election booths. I mean, you're talking about cutting county taxes. It's everybody's district throughout the county. I mean, why should Wappingers have as many voting booths during a primary if Rhinebeck cuts back? I mean,
well,
we're
maybe
still
they should
tapping
cut
into
back
our-
too, but you know, the fact that other people are wasting money doesn't mean we should waste money. You know, maybe they'll take the hint and a good example, but the fact that there's waste in county government at the elections doesn't mean we shouldn't try to make it better.
Agreed.
And I would urge, Tom, that this association that you belong to, you try to sound out people as to whether they oppose these cutbacks. It's very significant to us.
1% of our operating budget.
Right, we have the same problems as the county does.
Thanks, Joel.
all right, thank you, guys.
Okay. All right, any further discussion? So there's some requests for executive session, and I'm going to have to give detail on these. One is for union negotiations. The Highway Teamsters Union,
Neil?
Highway Maintenance, yeah. That's the only union we have in town, so. Another one is for personnel related to a specific individual, so. Sorry, say that again? I really don't know. Employment, medical? Employment and medical. And another one is a personnel matter relating to the town clerk position that pertains to personnel information for qualifications for the town clerk.
How does that qualify for an executive session?
I guess we're going to be debating over backgrounds of town clerk applicants.
Specific people?
Yes, yeah. So there are, of course, this one position, so there's a few.
So the portion that you discussed, the background of individuals would be in executive session.
Yeah, the,
Processes would be in open session.
We'll vote on it.
exactly. We will not vote on that,
Thank you.
yeah, right?
There's one other matter.
Litigation?
Yeah, there's,
Okay.
I don't know how you deal with that, and then
John,
that,
I
and
Yeah,
think
well,
that.
that's a
you a shout
litigation
out
issue.
for
Litigation,
holding down
litigation.
the town clerk's
Yeah.
office so well over the last 2 weeks.
And then just one more relating
Longer
to
than
a
that.
litigation issue.
5 weeks. This is my 5th meeting.
I don't know. We mean, what's the name of the case? I don't know if we can.
these are possible litigations.
If it's a possible case.
Could you get up and address introduce yourself?
Yeah,
if you're
I-
going to?
Bill Kimball with the Daily Freeman, and if it's a case that the town board is considering bringing, then you don't have to give who it is. If it's a-
This is one of the things we're going to discuss, is a case that the town board is considering bringing.
The town board would be bringing, not someone bringing
addressing
against you.
Exactly.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Okay. All right, thanks, Bill.
Fact is, yeah, there's several of those.
Okay, motion and second?
There might be a decision. There might be a decision, correct?
Or for what?
Personnel issue?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we might need to record something. Correct?
Yes, I think so.
I don't know what she says, is it action?
There may be an
Yeah,
action.
yeah.
Make it quick.
Motion and second to go into executive session?
Thank,
All in favor,
motion
aye?
second, aye.
So moved. All right, so for our October 1st,
Vote to return?
motion and second to return into session.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
So moved. So for our October 1st meeting at 4 PM, we will make it a special meeting for two purposes. One, to repeal local law number 3, 2012,
Well, to discuss it,
discuss repealing.
discuss local law 3.
And then also to discuss appointing a town clerk. That'll be 4 PM on October 1st. And that's all. Motion and second?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
And that's also the budget
Both.
workshop when you do the agenda.
Motion and second to return to executive session to discuss a litigation matter.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
So moved.
Then you can go?
You can go.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Fred.
I can go.
Do you notice the